Watch Dogs 2 sells extremely poorly at retail in the UK. How is this possible and what does it mean overall? Maybe no The Division 2? What? Let me know what you think in the comments down below and don't forget to hit the like button. Before I tell you what the results of the bad sales will mean, and also referring to The Division 2, I will first tell you why I think that Watch Dogs 2 is not selling as well. For starters, the first week of sales of Watch Dogs 2 are pretty bad in the UK compared to the original. The first one sold 380k copies in the first week and this one less than 80,000 it looks like. Okay, the first one was released on PS3 and Xbox 360 as well, and the digital sales are up compared to 2014, and the 80,000 number is just retail, but on the other hand PS4 and Xbox One have a way bigger install base than in 2014 when Watch Dogs 2 came out. So how is this possible? Well, there are many reasons I think. One is obvious, the hype around Watch Dogs 1 was just enormous. Everyone knew about this game because of the amazing reveal. No one saw it coming at the end of the Ubisoft 2012 press conference, and there it was. We saw a mysterious guy infiltrating this weird nightclub and doing interesting stuff with his phone. Then he hacked the traffic lights and that caused a huge crash, and look at what happens here. This guy's reacting to the other guy in the car. Come on. Something we've never seen in the game, but it was in this demo. The ideas we got from this trailer, whoa, I can hack people in an open world, it's just insane. The trailer is enormously popular with 15 million views only on the Ubisoft YouTube channel. The gameplay was just too good to be true. And that was in the end the case. The game was not super interesting, the gameplay was not an evolving experience that we first thought. It was a third-person shooter with an uninteresting character in a boring city with a boring story. And probably the most important thing, it didn't look as good as the trailer we saw during the press conference, by far. It was just a letdown. There you have it, your two reasons why Watch Dogs 2 suffered. People felt let down by the first one in a big way, so why would they care about the second one? This of course resulted in less hype for the sequel, but I believe that there's more to it. I really believe that people don't really like games that have a more funny tone. Watch Dogs 2 is a colorful game with a funny cast of characters and some hipster influence as well, but it doesn't look realistic at all. If you look at Mafia 3 for example, a game with a way worse metascore, but that sold extremely well, and this features a Vietnam fighter, a cool strong guy, where Marcus is just a nerd, and look at this ranch guy. I liked him as I progressed the story of Watch Dogs 2, but I can see why people don't see the appeal of him. Another amazing game that sold really poorly because of the colorful approach is Sunset Overdrive. My favorite game of the generation was all about shooting people that turned into zombies by drinking an energy drink with teddy bears and vinyl records. Some are people that are not really into games, that play Call of Duty and FIFA like all the time. A huge part of the console business don't really like that approach and want a more realistic one. I truly believe this. While I totally love the Watch Dogs 2 colorful approach, I think that it suffered because of that. Then we had the bad news surrounding this game. A day before the release, websites already reported that the seamless multiplayer where people could instantly jump into your game to hunt you down did not work. And still, to this day, a crucial part of the Watch Dogs 2 multiplayer experience is broken. You don't want to spend $60 on a broken game, although I would say that it's not really a huge part of the game and you're fine without it, still it doesn't look good. Then you got the vagina part, where someone posted a photo of a woman's vagina that he encountered while playing the game. Ubisoft had to apologize, another bad PR that you don't want in your week of release. Then last but not least we got the November release period. Watch Dogs 1 released on May 27th, in a week where nothing else came out, in a month that is not so crowded as we have right now. With a AAA release every week, Call of Duty, Dishonored 2, few days before that, Battlefield 1, Final Fantasy 15 incoming, we also had Pokemon. It's just insane and way more crowded than the time Watch Dogs 2 released in. The review scores are better, but that doesn't change the fact that gamers can only buy a few games, and with games like Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty asking a lot of time and money, people are willing to wait for a sale to get another game like Watch Dogs 2. Hopefully Christmas and Black Friday will help the game to get to the million copies it needs, but otherwise this means a couple of things. We will never see Watch Dogs 3. If the sequel to a game does worse than the original, then why make a third one? That will probably do even worse than the second one, you would imagine. The reason companies release sequels is one, they are easier to make because they already have the engine, know what the game is and can build upon that. Another reason is that people know the series and like it, so they normally need less effort to convince them to buy the new game. With Watch Dogs 2 this was not the case obviously. Ubisoft needed to convince people that this was not the game that they didn't like. They just simply blew it with the first game and now it may be over for the franchise. This might sound weird, but this could also mean that we will not see The Division 2, or maybe not anytime soon. I mean, if we look at the hype cycle for that game and then the result of that, I think there are a lot of similarities with Watch Dogs. The Division was revealed as a secret announcement during the Ubisoft press conference in 2013, looked way better and cooler than the final game. The hype was real when it came out. It overtook Watch Dogs as the biggest selling new IP of Ubisoft ever. Then it was noted in September that it was still the best selling game of 2016 to date. It generated $330 million in just 5 days. But who is playing it now? After a week people saw that this was just a repetitive game with a bad story and a broken endgame. Hey, that sounds familiar. Do you think that people will pick up The Division 2 with that in mind? I don't think so, and Watch Dogs 2 is the proof of that. Maybe if they really know how to convince people that yes, it's a better game this time and not released in November and not change the style of the game too much, then they will maybe have another success, but I think it will be a hard one for Ubisoft. There is so much to unpack here in this topic. Dishonored 2 sales are also lacking and Titanfall 2 as well. It's the 2 plague. Well, I think that they all have their own reasons, and it might be that releasing your not so known franchise in October or November is just a bad idea. The games that are doing well right now are Battlefield, Pokemon, Call of Duty and probably Final Fantasy. Hopefully the sales of all the AAA games will recover, but normally the sales from a game are the highest on day 1 or in the first week. We will have to wait and see. I'm curious to hear what you think. Let me know in the comments down below. I want to discuss it with Zach as well, so look for a video about this topic soon on the channel. Be sure to subscribe, like the video if you did, and I will speak to you next time. Goodbye.